As we all know, everyone has an end. But some endings are far more unexpected than others. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some of the strangest, most unbelievable final moments in history. Have you ever stopped to think about it? I mean, what could be the weirdest, most absurd way a person could leave this world? When we open the dusty pages of history, we come across stories so bizarre, so shocking, that they're almost impossible to comprehend. And now, we're about to explore some of the most astonishing ones. I should warn you in advance. Be prepared, because things are about to get a little strange. Let's begin with our first chapter. Here, we'll see how people who once held immense power and greatness ended their lives in the simplest, sometimes even humiliating, ways. Let me introduce you to King Charles VIII of France, a man with enormous ambition, his eyes set on conquering Italy. He's even remembered as the ruler who helped bring the Renaissance to France. But fate had other plans, not grand armies, not epic battles, just a low stone doorway. The date is April 7th, 1498. The king is walking through his chateau, heading to watch a game of tennis. And then it happens, something completely ordinary. He hits his head on a low doorframe. That's it. Nothing dramatic, just a quick ouch, and he keeps going. Charles doesn't think much of it at all. He watches the match as planned, but only a few hours later, he suddenly collapses and falls into a coma. Can you imagine that? A powerful king, dead at just 27 years old because of a minor head injury. Unbelievable. On to another powerful name, Jack Daniel, the founder of the famous whiskey brand. The story goes like this. One morning, he arrives at his office, ready to open his safe. But there's a problem. He can't remember the combination, and this frustrates him deeply. So what does Jack Daniel do when he's angry? With classic Southern stubbornness, he decides to solve the problem the fastest way possible. He kicks the safe, hard. That single kick becomes the first link in a deadly chain reaction. He breaks his big toe. The wound gets infected. The infection spreads throughout his body. And in 1911, Jack Daniel dies because of it. Just think about that. A man who built a global whiskey empire, taken out by a forgotten code and a moment of anger. Now we move on to our next chapter. Deaths caused by pride. Stories of people who died in strange ways because of their own actions, their overconfidence, their ego. These are true cautionary tales, showing just how dangerous arrogance can be. Meet Gary Hoy, a senior partner at a law firm, and he has a favorite trick to impress visitors. He likes to prove that the windows in his 24th floor office are unbreakable. He's done this stunt many times before. On his first run, he charges straight at the window, and just as expected, he bounces back. Everyone laughs. Then Hoy says, "Wait, let me show you again." The second time, the glass doesn't break either, but disaster comes from somewhere else entirely. The glass holds, but the window frame doesn't. The entire frame gives way. In 1993, Gary Hoy falls 24 stories to his death, killed by his own claim. A painful truth. The glass was unbreakable. The frame was not. Now let's rewind to the late 19th century. At the time, yellow fever is a terrifying mystery. A Cuban doctor named Carlos Finlay claims the disease is spread by mosquitoes. The scientific community laughs at him. But an American doctor, Jesse William Lazier, says, wait a moment, what if he's right? He believes in the theory so strongly that he decides to risk his own life to prove it. According to Lazier, there is only one definitive way to confirm the theory. He becomes the experiment. Yes, on purpose, he allows a mosquito infected with yellow fever to bite him. The experiment begins. The result is both tragic and revolutionary. Lazier contracts yellow fever, just as predicted. And within days, he dies. But his sacrifice proves Finlay's theory beyond any doubt. And that proof becomes the foundation for disease control methods that will eventually save millions of lives. Now, what we're about to discuss is different, not ironic, not accidental. This is the story of one of the most cruel, most sadistic execution methods in human history. Brace yourself. This may truly be the worst way to die. It's called scaphism. You've probably never heard of it. Invented by the ancient Persians, this method offers no quick death. Quite the opposite. It is designed for maximum suffering, over the longest possible time. The process is horrifyingly methodical. The victim is trapped between two hollowed-out boats. Only the head, hands, and feet are left exposed. Then they are force-fed milk and honey, causing severe diarrhea. That's not all. Their body is covered in honey to attract insects, and they're left floating in a stagnant pond or swamp. From there, nature takes over. The victim slowly rots in their own filth, while insects devour them, both from the outside and from within. Death eventually comes from dehydration, starvation, and infection-induced septic shock. Slow, unimaginably painful. Historical records suggest that one victim subjected to this torture survived for 17 days. 17 days. So what should we take away from all these bizarre deaths? Are they just shocking stories meant to make us say, wow, that's insane? Or do they reveal something deeper about human nature, about pride, chance, cruelty, and fate? I think that's a question worth thinking about.